We're going to talk about 5 tips on finding the best counselor for you. I'm Angela. I'm here to help you live a more purposeful life in your relationship with God and with one another. I am passionate about breaking the stigma of mental health issues among fellow Christians. If you've never been to counseling, then you might think about it a little bit like it is in the movies. Picture a distinguished, salt and pepper haired old gentleman sitting across from you, looking at you seriously, talking to you about your family, while you lay out on a leather couch, wondering, why is it that I hate my mother? Well, let me tell you, it's a lot less dramatic than that. I've been to marriage counseling and to individual counseling and to counseling with my kids, and I have yet to see a leather couch. You may have tried therapy before and had a bad experience, and I get that. I've been there. But the most important thing is not to give up on yourself or your family's mental health. So if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, I'm here for you today, and I'm going to give you 5 tips on finding the best counselor for you. Tip number 1 is identifying those titles and acronyms at the end of a counselor's name. The first one we're going to tackle is the licensed clinical social worker. Training for social workers can vary, but most of the time they have a master's in social work or another related field. One of the best counselors that I know is a licensed clinical social worker. You can find out more about their training and background usually on their website and get a little history from them that way. The next one is the licensed mental health counselor or the licensed professional counselors. These individuals have achieved a master's degree in counseling or psychology or another related field, and they are trained to work with individuals, families, and groups treating mental, behavioral, or emotional problems or disorders. The next one is the licensed marriage and family therapist. These are professionals that hold either an MA or an MS in marriage and family therapy. They are focused on relational issues in the family structure. These can include family or work or friends or any type of relationships that can help you have resilience and support within that structure of your life. If a license ends in A, then that therapist is still in the process of getting their full licensure and is continuing under the supervision of another therapist. The next one is a psychologist. Now, these are people who have a doctorate and are licensed and certified. They're psychologists and therapists as well as mental health professionals, and they have specialized training in the area of being able to test and officially diagnose mental health disorders. Really helpful if you're just having a difficult time really pinpointing what the struggle is that you're going through. The next one is the psychiatric nurse practitioner. Very similar to the psychiatrist in that they can also prescribe medication, and they have advanced training as a registered nurse, but also provide a wide range of mental health services for families and patients in a variety of settings. The last one is the psychiatrist, the MD. This is a medical doctor that specializes in diagnosis and treatment of mental health. They address all sorts of issues and chemical imbalances in the brain, and they're going to do this through prescribing medication, and they'll refer their patients to a psychologist for therapy and counseling. So a psychiatrist doesn't really provide counseling, but they are going to look at what can we do medication-wise to try to help this situation become more manageable. Tip number 2 is to check on your health insurance coverage to see what your preferred providers list is. Counseling can be really expensive, and so you'll want to find a way that you can offset that cost. Sometimes you don't even realize that your insurance provides counseling coverage, but many times they do. Tip number 3, ask friends and family or your church to provide recommendations for you. And also I'll give you a website in the notes below that'll be a big resource. Tip number 4, you want to cross-reference your preferred providers from your insurance and your recommendations from your friends and see what matches up. And then you want to do some research online and just see what kind of pops out to you out of those websites or descriptions of those doctors or counselors that seems to attract you in your personality or just kind of clicks with you. Tip number 5, is to start with an interview. You are hiring these counselors or these doctors to help you. So you want to connect with them and see if they would be a good fit. I'll have some really great questions to start with in a blog link below, and that'll kind of get you started and give you some things to consider as you go on this journey. As the director of mental health for His Heart Foundation, we do all of those above tips for our clients because we know that in a time of crisis, it can just be really difficult to kind of go through those things on your own because you're just struggling to get by each day. If you live in the Vancouver, Washington or Clark County, Washington area, then I encourage you to visit our website at hisheartfoundation.org, and we can help you go through those steps and really connect with a really great counselor. Even if you don't live in our area, I would just encourage you to ask a family member or a friend to just kind of walk through those steps with you and help you through it, because you don't want to walk this road alone. You want someone to be in that fight with you and help you through those steps, and just take it one day at a time. Seeking counseling takes courage. Not one person alone has all the answers. And so let's benefit from all the gifts, the individual gifts that God has given to each one of us. Ephesians 6:10 says, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power." So what's stopping you from seeking counseling today? I'd love to hear from you. Comment in the notes below, and let's connect here. Please subscribe for more videos, and I'll be sharing some great tips, whether you're the one that is struggling with mental illness or you have a family member who is. I'd love to connect with you. We'll see you next time. I'm Angela. I'm here to help you live a more purposeful life in your relationship with God and with one another. I am passionate about breaking the stigma of mental health issues among fellow Christians.